Hello all, today in this video we are going to run the Python code for artificial neural network by using kidney dataset. This kidney dataset which we have chosen is from Kaggle, and also this dataset contains both the numerical and string values, but we are going to do only numerical classification. So in this code we are just moving from scratch, so we will also check with the errors what are the errors we will get while we are just running with the code. So this code we are just following from the previous video. So if you have followed our channel means you may know that this video previously we have made for just removing multiple rows from a CSV file. So to read a CSV file, we have to import the libraries which is pandas. So then we have to read that data set which is downloaded from Kaggle. Now for that we are using read underscore CSV. Next we are just describing what are the things, what are the variables in the data set. Now next we are just getting the info of the data set. Why? Because the object data set we have to remove the object type. Why? Because we are just working with numerical classification or prediction, so we have to remove the things which are made in object. So to remove we are using the drop command. So once we are using this drop command, everything which have been data set, that is everything which is an object will be neglected. But here we have not given this classification. Why? Because the classification is the thing variable which we are using to detect our model. So it is also in object, but we are taking some steps to make it to numerical value. So apart from this classification, if we find some other variables also important, means we can do that, we can convert that variable also into a numerical variable. In this case we are just making this classification variable into numerical variable. So these things we can just check in the later steps. For that I'm just commenting all. Then this thing also we can just check with the later steps. So for that I'm just commenting everything. Here also we can just check with the later steps. So I'm just commenting it. So this is the so this we can see now. I said that classification is also an object type, but we are converting it to 0 and 1s. So the classification data types is having some variables like CKD and not CKD. So the CKD we are converting it to 1 and not CKD as 0. So in this case we are just running this code. Next so next we are working is with the training of the variables. So for that initially we are not going to pre-process the data, so we can just so we can pre-process. So why we are pre-processing means this data set is having some numerical values also, and some non and infinite values. So we are just pre-processing. The pre-processing here we are using with the standard scalar. So for that we are just calling the functions which we are needed for splitting the data set and also the pre-processing. Then we are just calling two variables like x and y. With x we are just dropping the classification. What other than the classification, everything is called within this x variable, and in this y only x classification is called. Since this is converted, this variable we are considering as the variable of prediction. Then we are just declaring, we have to find four variables like x train or x test, y train and y test. For that we are using 20 to 80% ratio of the training testing. That is 80% is used for training and 20% is for testing. If you need some other ratio, means in this test sites you have to give what is the ratio you need. Now I am just running this. Next we are going to display this x train value and y train value. So some errors are occurred. We can check what this type of error. So I said some values are not given, that is some data sets, some data set as having some null entries. So in order to neglect these null entries, initially this some data sets which you have taken from the Kaggle they would have deleted this, but something in some cases they would not have deleted. So in order to delete that only, we are just using this code. Initially we commented, so now we can just uncomment this, and then we can run this code. So this error will not occur. So apart from this line, we have also to replace uh, we have to replace the things of infinite and nan. For that we are just using this infinite lines. So then we can check whether it is causing an error. So now it is not causing the error. So this is due to the some non and infinite entries in the data set. So now we have cleared that. So now we can just call the shape of that X train, and this 15 we will be using in the layers description for ANN. And then we are just work as calling the Y shape. It is also 162. Next we are declaring our classifier, that is ANN classifier. In the ANN classifier, in this ANN classifier we are having nearly two classes. The next the continuation of this video will be done in the next video. So this is the part 1. So in the part 2 you may see the other rest code, that is the ANN scratch description for this kidney data set. Thank you.